Hi, this is Wade Kersey with Mikeemerygolf. We're going to produce a series of videos. This will be the first of a series to help you, regardless of your skill level, learn how to incorporate Mike Emery's approach into your golf game. Let's get started by talking about the foundation of much of what Mike teaches. Mike centers around the anatomical limitations of our body. And I know you say, whoa, what does that mean? What he means by that is everyone's built differently. We all have different muscle mass, we all have different stature, we all have different flexibilities as a result of that. So we all move differently to get to the limits of our anatomy and where we can go. I'm going to give you a perfect example. If I stand here, do this at home, stand here with your arms straight out, 90-degree angle, and go backwards as far as you can go. So that's my limit right there. So if I introduce a golf club to that, and then I turn my shoulders, there's the top of my swing. Well, why is that important? Because if I go to the anatomical limit of my golf swing, I'll be strong, I'll be stable, and it'll be repeatable. Those are the key elements that make it all work in a consistent manner. If I'm going to that extreme, I'm strongest, and I can go to that position every time, as opposed to trying to be up here somewhere where there's no limit. We'll call it lost in space. So, let me give you an example, and you should Google Jim Furyk's golf swing. Jim Furyk's golf swing is very unique, we all know that, but he's had tremendous success for a lot of years. Why is that? Go to Google, get a video of his swing, and watch in slow motion what he does. He's very unorthodox in the way that he takes the club back, but as soon as he transitions, he goes to that position I was just demonstrating. He brings his right arm right back to that position every single time. So let's get started with our first lesson. And we're going to talk about the grip, our only connection to the golf club. The grip is the most important part of Mike's approach because it sets you up to be successful at the other elements of what we're doing. Now, let me show you the improper grip. An improper grip, if I grip it across my palm, and we'll talk about some that say that is proper, but if I grip it that way, watch my arm as it relates to the club. I can extend, because of this, the flexibility in my wrist, I can extend this to a straight line. But it's not a straight line at address, is it? There's an angle here. So if there's an angle, and I'm going to swing this club, and it doesn't matter if you swing at 60 miles an hour, 80 miles an hour, or 100 plus miles an hour, your arm is going to straighten, this wrist is going to extend, and you're going to have a straight line. Well, if I'm set up here, and all of a sudden this is a straight line, I have to stand up in the golf swing. More importantly, I also have to spin my wrist to square the golf club. So I have to do two things. I have to be coming into impact and standing up and flipping my wrist to square it. Now, if that's the case, I'm only going to be square for a split second. At 100 miles an hour in speed of the swing, who wants to be dealing with that? Okay? So how do we change it? Simple. You grip the club across these knuckles, the inside of those knuckles. Now there's a big long word for that name of those joints, but let's just call it the first row of knuckles. You grip it right across that with a long left thumb. Why a long left thumb? Because now we have stability at the top of the swing. I've got leverage because of this gap. I've got stability. Now, more importantly, watch what happens. This is almost instantaneously this happens. If I try to employ a flip, I'll go right over top of the golf ball. Let me do that in slow motion. Because, watch, I can't go to that straight line anymore. With the club laid across that joint and a long left thumb, I can only go to there. So that means if I'm coming into the ball and I roll this arm, watch what the club head does. It goes right over top of the ball. You miss it. So what your body does, and you'll be amazed at how this happens, your body will actually square the club differently by taking the left wrist to what we call a flexion position. That's flexion. See the club face? The club face is now square to the path and can be squared to the path much sooner in the downswing, therefore maintaining a much square all the way before, during, and after impact. So, the proper grip is going to feel strange to you at first. Trust it. Hit a bunch of wedges. Let your body adapt to squaring the club face differently. And go on through impact. And impact will be the subject of our next video. Proper position and impact. So, trust it. Hit a lot of wedges. Expect straighter, more consistent ball flight. In our next episode, we'll talk about impact position. In the meantime, follow us on Facebook and Twitter at Mikeemerygolf, and go to Mikeemerygolf.com to buy the book.